Welcome back. In the last video, we added the customer tier field to the customer screen. That field is currently just a placeholder. It doesn't actually do anything yet. Our next step is to give it some logic so it reacts based on the customer's tier. Our next goal is to ensure that whenever a customer is marked as platinum or gold, they must have a primary phone number saved. To make that happen, we'll need to build a rule inside the system that enforces this requirement. But before we add any logic, let's take a look at how the system behaves right now. This will give us a clear baseline to work from. At the top of the screen, in the search bar, we'll type All Customers. You will see a drop-down list appear, and from here, we will click on the first option, the one under Accounts Receivable module. That takes us to the Customers page, where we can view and manage all the customer records. Now, let's pick a random customer to work with. I will go ahead and select US02. If you look over on the right-hand side, you'll notice that the customer tier field is currently set to none by default. Let's change that. We will click on the Edit button. In the drop-down that appears, we will select Platinum. We're doing this because the rule we are about to create will only apply to Platinum and Gold customers, so this helps us test the scenario we're working on. Once that's done, we'll go ahead and click Save. Now, we will scroll down a bit to find the customer information section. That's this fast tab right here. You can see that a primary phone number is already listed for this customer. Let's remove it so we can test how the system behaves without a phone number. I'll select the phone number and click Remove. A confirmation window pops up, so we'll just click Yes to confirm. Now that the phone number is gone, I'll click Save again, and notice what happens. The record saves successfully without showing any warning or error message. This is exactly what we want to fix. Our goal is to make sure that when a customer is set to Platinum or Gold, the system doesn't allow saving the record unless there's a primary phone number entered. Now let's switch over to Visual Studio, where we'll write the X++ code for our rule. We'll start by creating a new class that extends the standard CustTable. This gives us a safe place to add our business logic while keeping the core system intact. Under the Solution Explorer, we will right-click on our project. Then we will select Add and then choose New Item. In the pane that opens, we will select Code on the left side and then choose Class. Now, let's give our new class a descriptive name. I'll call it BIC CustTable Extension. I'm using this name because the BIC prefix helps us identify it as part of our custom BIC solution, and CustTable extension clearly tells us that this class extends the standard CustTable logic. After that, just click on Add. So now you can see our new class appear in the Solution Explorer. Before we start with the code, let me close the other windows to give us more space to work. Now, I'll just paste the X++ code we're going to use, and then we'll walk through it together step by step so you can see exactly how it works. At the very top, you will notice the attribute extension of table str CustTable. This line is what tells the system that our class is extending the standard CustTable. In other words, we're adding our own business logic to it without modifying the original object. We are using the table str function instead of typing the table name directly as a string because this approach gives us compile time validation. That means if the table name ever changes or there's a typo, the compiler will catch it, which helps prevent runtime errors. Below that, we define our class BIC CustTable extension and then create a method called validateWrite. Now, this method is a key part of how Dynamics 365 works. It automatically runs every time a record is about to be saved. That makes it the perfect place to add our custom validation logic. Inside the method, the first line calls next validateWrite. This is part of a concept called the chain of command. What this does is it runs the original system logic first, and then only after that has successfully passed, our custom code executes. This way, we're extending the system behavior safely. We're not replacing or breaking the base logic. That's very important for keeping our customization upgrade safe. Once the standard validation passes, our own check runs. Here, we're checking two conditions. First, whether the customer's tier is set to Gold or Platinum, and second, whether the primary phone number is missing. If both of those conditions are true, meaning the customer is Gold or Platinum, and they don't have a phone number, we set the validation result to false. Then we call the error function to display a user-friendly message on the screen. This message comes from our label file, which means it can be easily maintained or translated later if needed. Next, we will open the label file that we created in the previous session. If you would like to see how this was done, please refer back to that session. Here, we will click on the blank space to create a new record and then provide the label ID, label text, and a short description. In this case, our label ID is BIC Platinum Gold Phone Error. The label text is Gold and Platinum tier customers must have a primary phone number, and the description explains that it's used to prevent saving a record when the contact information is missing. And that's it. That's the entire logic in action. We've now ensured that whenever someone tries to save a Gold or Platinum customer without a phone number, the system will stop them and show a clear error message. With the code written, we're ready to build the project. Let's right-click on the project and select Build. We'll wait for a minute or two. So, you can see that we've got a build error. The message says that a reference to the directory model is missing. This is a common scenario. It happens because Dynamics 365 organizes its code and metadata into packages called models. The phone field we're referencing in our code actually belongs to the directory model. However, our custom model, BIC Customer Management, doesn't yet know that it needs to use elements from it. The solution is to explicitly create this reference. We'll update our model's parameters by navigating to extensions at the top, then selecting Dynamics 365 followed by Model Management, and then Update Model Parameters. The Update Model Parameters window opens. Here, we'll select our model name, BIC Customer Management, and click Next. Now we can see the list of all available packages. Let's scroll down and tick the checkbox for the directory model. I will tick the contact person model as well. Otherwise, we will probably hit another reference error when we build again. Click Next, then Next again, and finally on the summary page, just verify the details and click Next one more time. After saving this change, our model is now aware of the necessary components and the reference error should be resolved. Let's build the project again. So once more, right-click on the project and select Build. After a short wait, you'll see that the build completes successfully. It's important to note that a database synchronization is not required here. A sync is only needed when we change the underlying data structure, such as adding a new field to a table. Now that the build is complete, let's switch back to our Finance and Operations app to test the logic. We'll open the same customer record we used earlier, US002. To trigger the validation, we need to make a small change, so let's modify the customer's name. Click the edit icon next to the name, add a random suffix, for example, LA, and then click Save. And there it is, we've got the same error message. Because this customer is set to Platinum and doesn't have a phone number as we deleted it earlier, the system correctly prevents the record from being saved. That confirms our custom validation logic is working exactly as intended. So, to quickly recap, in this session, we built our validation rule that ensures Platinum and Gold customers must have a primary phone number, resolved the model reference issue, and successfully tested the logic to confirm everything works as expected. Thank you for staying till the end. We'll see you in the next session.